So grab your cuppa and we'll just have a little chat. You can have your cuppa, I'll finish mine, and we can just get on with our days, right? All right. So, what do I want to talk about today? What I want to talk about is patience. And I don't mean the kind that are in the hospital. I mean the patience that it takes to come out of the woods. If you spent 30, 40, 50 years of eating crapola, standard American diet fare, and did a whole bunch of different diets, you really found yourself in the thickest part of the woods, right? So coming out of that forest into the light, into just having a consistent, dependable keto food plan is what you want to do. You want to just be able to have patience to know that if you spend 40 years doing some metabolic damage to your poor little body with all the different things, the different foods, the different plans, the wacky stuff for your deranged metabolism, it's going to take more than a few days, a few weeks, maybe months or years to get back on track. And yes, it takes patience. Why? Because we are so used to you can do something overnight and be successful. And for a lot of us, that is so true in so many other areas of our life, but our weight seems to be the part that's hindering us. And I'm telling you, after doing Instacart, that the grocery stores don't want you to take care of yourself. You know, some kudos go out to places that have great produce, great organic sections, the organic freezer space. There's tons and tons of things now, and I'm definitely impressed with how they realize that they're probably making a superior product and they can pass along the cost to you, and you'll pay, a lot more money for something that either says keto on it or is, low carb or some sort of thing that's written on the package, the box, the can. Although I haven't seen many low carb cans. But, we are willing to pay that little bit more for the good produce, the good meats, and then maybe some products from the inner shelves. I mean, coffee is great, right? And you'll find that in the inner shelf. But, I've been buying good butter and good coffee and organic, mostly produce, along with, well, grass-fed burger mostly. Applegate pepperoni for the pizza. This cauliflowered pizza crust has been great for me, for us. Greg likes it too. And so we are willing to pay a little bit more for the products. And if you do OMAD, like I encourage you to do, only because I share the benefits here of how I've been able to just pull it all together, how my body feels, how my energy level is, sleep, and everything else. If you are doing only one meal a day, you have a lot less food to buy, right? So when you go to the store, you can buy that dozen eggs, and if you have a couple of eggs with your piece of protein and your little salad or maybe your couple of veggies every day, that's not as crazy as 3 meals a day for what we used to have. And then all the keto breads or rolls or things, or the flour to make these things, to have that low carb, or even the keto treats. Those can be expensive though. When I did them anyway. So the patience is probably why I do my videos and have you tune in here every day, because it's just one more day of, yep, we're all doing this, what appears to be slow motion food plan. And it seems like an awful lot is being asked of us, but not really, because once you become the fat adapted and, sugar is not on your mind 24/7, it's like day in, day out, same, same. And so sometimes you can tweak your food plan. You can come up with a new thing that you like. I have a lot of different favorite things that I do. One of them is that it's rather high in carbs because it's a squash, but it's that half of an acorn squash with a veggie of like what's popular or in season, like the zucchini, that and some cut up pork that I season with things like ginger and cinnamon, things like that, inside the acorn squash and, cooked low and slow. It's divine. Cracked slaw, love that. This cauliflowered pizza works out just fine. My no pasta lasagna, that's another favorite. So, coming up with the dishes I personally like gooey, sort of one bowl things, like the pizza bowl that is a low carb, it's got a cauliflower bottom, then it's got a little marinara sauce or pizza sauce from like Rayo's, and then zucchini and chopped up pepperoni with mozzarella on top, baked, bubbly, really good. And so these sort of things can fit into your food plan and make that OMAD rather rich and decadent in a way that want to make you keep doing it. It doesn't have to be, the 8-ounce thing of chicken with the 2 veggies and call it a day. You can get a little bit creative. That's why I put my videos up, often of what I have in my one meal a day, just to show you the variation. Like having that 40 or 50 grams of your favorite kind of cottage cheese. Mine is Good Culture. And then some broccoli slaw on top of that. And then a little dressing on top of that. Bragg's or Primal or Paul Newman, even though I think there's canola oil in it. But anyway, some sort of nice little tablespoon of dressing just to make it all wet and doable. You could even put a couple of shakes of sesame seeds on top of that. You can get, fancy Nancy or standard. I mean, it's simple foods that I use, but I just mix them differently for a nice result. I love my egg day, which is the hot Italian sausage, 1 or 2 gently fried eggs with the holy guacamole medallion. I'm going through an 8-pack of the spicy ones right now. Having that, love it. And so different foods for different, tastes and feelings and hankerings for, not hangry, hankering. And so you can do it and, not get bored. There's keto, the diet doctor has a gazillion recipes out. You can buy some recipes. You can go to Pinterest. You can go to Picky Palette and find some things. Yes, there's a little bit of food prep involved, but making the time, I often talk about, like when I make the crack slaw, it's, for 2, and it's like 1 pound of burger. I get the grass-fed vac packs, and so it's like 2 8-ounce portions of the ground beef with the broccoli broccoli, cauliflower, not cauliflower. What am I trying to think of? Anyway, the broccoli shredded, and then I put in it some coconut aminos and some ginger. What could be simpler? And on the day that I serve it, it is slaw. There you go. There's my mind coming back. On the day you serve it, or the day I have it, I put in sesame oil, ghee, and a little water, and then I slow heat it up in like a 225 oven, and so it doesn't get dried out. It's delicious, and the sriracha, and then again the sesame seeds on top, and it's like divine and tasty, and it's one meal, and it's got all these veggies, and I'll add some. Sometimes I add some cucumber and celery to it, and then my side of cauliflower crumbles, sugar snap peas, which I'm in love with right now, and the usual old trusty asparagus. And I'm happy and I'm content, and it takes a while to eat. And I think, I'm a volume eater from way back. So even though it seems like a lot of veggies and isn't your stomach going to expand, across the country, probably I'm a little bit bloated when I go to bed, but it's not an uncomfortable bloat. It's just, my belly is poochy because all the veggies that I ate, but it's gone by the morning, and it's not uncomfortable. It's not like an overload of carbs and I can't sleep. So I just divide it up, get the good recipes going. I've got 7 meals each week, just probably like you do too, and some are tried and true, so they stick to that day, like a burger day, like the big green egg steak day. And now the pizza, who knows how long that'll last. It's because we're not having fish because it's past fishing season for Greg. So, I have to have the patience, but I also don't want to get bored with what I'm eating, and I don't want to eat what I'm eating just because I'm supposed to. It's not like getting a packaged diet plan where it's like, oh my God, I've got 4 of those that I have to finish up before I reorder and spend another $300. Whereas the $300 could be buying some really good meat, some really good produce, and just having you learn to cook a little bit more at home. It's not like it's, the air fryer helps me. The slow roaster, when I buy a hunk of, like when Whole Foods has their animal welfare rated chuck roast on sale, and you've got the Prime membership as well, you're getting, like, for $3.50 a pound, this great pot roast, and you get 3 pounds of that. It's less than $10. Well, for us, that's 2 meals and like a little pot roast cauli stew to have for a third meal. So that's kind of good. For like $10, you got 3 meals, and it's from Whole Foods and it's animal welfare rated. So yeah, it's just, if you have to learn how to cook, you might as well learn how to cook with some simple, nice foods and enjoy it. And then there's a sense of pride that you are taking care of yourself because you picked out that piece of meat. You cooked it in your slow cooker. You added the cauliflower crumbles, maybe a couple of little baby carrots. And it's great. I mean, at least that satiates and satisfies me. And I'll add a tablespoon of ghee to that, Fourth and Heart ghee to my like little pot roast mixture with the juice. Perfect. Getting enough fats, getting enough protein, takes long enough to eat that I'm satisfied. And so I just encourage you to take the time to put together a meal. Anything done in the slow cooker, or you can do it in the air fryer, you can get a couple of meals out of that. And sometimes I'll cook a meal and freeze it, with like the chicken part, or like I do with the beef, where you can cook it. I can freeze, what's left after the first meal, and that makes another meal of the pot roast per se, and then the pot roast stew. And it all just works for me. Same thing with pork. Pork can go a long way with a hunk of pork cooked however you like it, and then batched out in meals. And, I put it in a glass container. It's all good. And we move on, right? So have patience with yourself. And instead of being impatient and foot stamping and wanting to cheat and how come everybody else, blah, 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 you're older. It's going to take a while. So have some patience. Turn that impatience into a sense of pride with putting together a few quick meals that work. That's why I do the OMAD videos. That's why other people do what they eat in a day, just to show what works for them. You can't have 2 pounds of meat if you're my age and think that you're going to lose. It's just not going to work. It's too much. Too much of a good thing is too much, right? But I show you how my veggie heavy keto food plan works for me. And I lost 2 months. I lost 2 pounds in the month of September. And to me, that's great. I'll take that. I'm I'm 70 now. And so it takes a while to lose. But once you get in the groove and trust the process, have the patience, stick with it consistently, day in, day out. Give it 30, 60, 90 days before you flip-flop to get the next best trending thing. Trust me on this. It can work. It has worked for me. Steady Eddie wins the race every time. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you the next time. Bye-bye for now.